Why is it that the only way that we can seem to make ourselves feel a little bit more okay about how we're living our lives is to find someone else that we see doing it worse? Oof, I had a rough mom day, but have you seen Sarah over there? She's really getting it wrong. I feel better. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Kira Wackett. Thanks for joining me for another video as we work to empower and equip you with the confidence and skills to write your own story so that you can live your life on purpose. Today, we're talking all things comparative suffering and values ranking. We are all constantly fighting a battle of comparative suffering. From making ourselves feel better by pointing out the flaws and missteps in others as a means to validate our own self, or minimizing our worth and even our suffering because someone else has more. It's so hard to consume information from a neutral position. Instead, we find ourselves up and down comparing who we are, what we do, and how we look with everyone else. What do I mean by this when I say up and down comparing? Well, down comparison is when you compare yourself to people you see as having less or doing worse than you. It can show up both as judgment. Ugh, at least I'm not as bad as so-and-so, which I'm 100% guilty of doing, especially in trying to find any semblance of balance in the chaotic role of parenting. I may not have done X, but have you seen Y? The only way I don't keep reverting to the belief that I'm a terrible mom and completely failing was by finding someone else doing it worse. By no standard other than my own. Conversely, it can also show up as a means of silencing our own pain. Think about Carl. My situation isn't as bad as his. I'm just being dramatic. Or get it together. You don't want people to think you're like Susan, do you? I do this one a lot, especially when I try to name how I'm feeling. It's like as soon as I start to give my pain space, this competing voice comes in, armed with every scenario of how others are worse off or how I have the skills to handle X, so I should be able to deal with it and deal with it way better than I seem to be doing now. Down comparison leaves you hovering between a false sense of security and an incredible pressure to keep it together. The suffering of others gives you relief while allowing your shame to stay in the driver's seat. Oppositely, up comparison is when you compare yourself to people that you see as better than you or further along. I'm nowhere near as successful as Mel. I must be missing something. No matter what I do, I'm not as thin, tan, pretty, toned, built, muscular, strong as so-and-so. Gosh, I'm never gonna get X, not with Susan going out for it too. How come I never get blank? What's wrong with me? I think the biggest area that I struggle with this in my own life is comparing my body to others and measuring my success in my business against others doing something similar. Which makes sense as the stories that I've internalized from the community and culture I live in are that people in a certain body or with a certain level of money or power or status are better. If I release a video I'm really proud of, but only get 100 views, and then see another video with 1 million views, I automatically dismiss my joy and belief for the video I made based on one data point. They have more followers or views, so they're better. The video is stronger. See, up comparison leaves you feeling like you're constantly lacking. You're always one step away from it, whatever it is. It's the source of imposter syndrome as one of the biggest acts your shame depends on to keep its power. One of the biggest roles in my work with clients is in helping them identify when and how they use the weapon of comparison against themselves and as a means of furthering their shame. But let's be clear, that doesn't mean that I have it all figured out or that I don't fall into the same behaviors. I just told you I do it all the time. I'm still finding myself doing this and making myself feel better when I inversely make someone else feel small. And as I continue on in my own journey, I'm really making a lot of space to think about the following. Why do I need someone else to struggle to make myself feel better about my own pain? I'm still struggling, and I know it's shame, but I need to go deeper here. What part of me is satisfied when others are failing and flailing? And how do I turn off that response? Do I invalidate or validate someone else's pain or success based on how it compares to others? Not that I know of, so why am I doing it with my own? If a friend does something, it's amazing purely because they did something they're proud of, not how it compares to others or how many likes or views it has. If a loved one's in pain, I don't immediately go, yeah, but think about so-and-so, or dismiss it. Yet I do with my own. What do I need to let go of to trust that I'm valid in my pain, success, and everything in between? And how do I anchor that in me and not on the actions, reactions, and responses of others? Now, as I'm doing this, I'm actively working on the process of radical acceptance, or accepting what's out of my control and focusing on the parts of my life that I can. Because radical acceptance, there's always someone better and worse off than me. That's just the law of averages. And the only life we get to lead is our own, which means owning that space and not deflecting it to focus on things and people outside of myself. So in that, I need to really work on making space to acknowledge that my pain is valid too. I need to reflect on and always check in that I'm not using my pain to dismiss systems of oppression or invalidate someone else. And I have to make space to honor my pain. The example that I give is that I will never tell a 7th grader their pain after a breakup is less valid than someone in their 50s getting a divorce. Their pain is equally valid and real and matches the context of their own lives and what they're going through. They don't need me to grade their pain or put it on some sort of scale or ladder system. They just need to feel it. That's all any of us really needs. I don't need to scale my pain to decide if it's worthy. I just need to be able to name it so that I can show up with greater grace and compassion to my own life and the lives of others. I also need to learn to celebrate differences. Instead of comparing likeness, celebrating differences and unique characteristics. I have to fight against that urge to boil the human experience down to bullet points used to grade their worth and value. Lives are so much more expansive and require us to factor in the context of it in full. So as we wrap up for today, let us know in the comments, how does this relate to you? Where do you find yourself engaging most in these different behaviors? Where are you up comparing? Where are you down comparing? In what roles and contexts? How does this connect to your shame and the fear that you are also unworthy, not good enough, or lovable? What systems and norms within your culture and community compound on this inherent drive to compare? Be sure to take a look at the video notes to access some awesome resources to help you dive deeper in this work. And if you haven't joined the AR Insider yet, be sure to click the link in the notes and get yourself on this list. You'll get exclusive content and discounts that I don't share anywhere else, and stay in the know on all of the new content and projects that I'm working on, and be first access to signing up for different events when they become available. If you like what you're hearing, give me a thumbs up and share the video with someone else who could benefit from hearing it. And if you want to stay connected to all of the work that I do on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Remember, we have the right to author our own stories. Let's go get that pen back.